Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is PUTRI RAMADHANI. I'm from English Education C 2021. And I'm gonna expose the American literature. It's Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Nathaniel Hawthorne was a 9th century American novelist and short story writer. He is considered an important figure in the development of American literature. Birth July 4, 1804, Salem, Massachusetts, American. Died 19 May 19, 1164, and age 59. Plymouth Empire in United States. Children: Julian Hawthorne, Rose Hawthorne, Latrobe Hawthorne, Sophia Hawthorne. Grandchildren: Piers R. Hildegard Hawthorne, Gladys Hawthorne, James Francis Hawthorne, Emmeline Hawthorne, Perdita Hawthorne, Beatrice Hawthorne, Gwendolyn Hawthorne, Frederick West Hawthorne, Henry Hawthorne, and he is graduated by Bodin Lecture in 1125. He was born in 1104 in Salem, Massachusetts, from a family long associated with that town. Hawthorne entered Bowdoin College in 1121, was elected to Bata Kappa in 1124, and graduated in 1125. He published his first work in 1828. No professor who later tried to suppress it. Feeling that it was not equal to the standard of his later work, he published several short stories in periodicals, which he collected in 1137 as thoughtful tales. The following year, he became engaged with Sophia Peabody, who worked at the Boston Custom House and joined Brook Farm. After a sentimentalist community before marrying Peabody in 1142, the couple moved to the Old Mills in Concord, Massachusetts. Later moved to Salem, the Berkshires, then to the White Side in Concord. The Scarlet Letter was published in 1115, followed by a succession of other novels. A political appointment as consul to Hawthorne and family to Europe before they returned to Concord in 1116. Hawthorne died on May 1164, and was survived by his wife and their 3 children. His birthplace is preserved and open to the public. William Hawthorne, the author, great grandfather of Gordon and the first of the family to emigrate from England. He settled in Dorchester, Massachusetts, before moving to Salem. There he became an important member of the Massachusetts White Colony and held many political positions, including magistrate and judge, becoming infamous for his harsh sentencing. William's son and the eldest great-grandfather, John Hawthorne, was one of the judges who oversaw the sandwich trials. Hawthorne, probably a WT's remained in his early 20s. Shortly after graduating from college, he sent an effort to dissociate himself from his notorious father. Hawthorne's father, Nathaniel Hawthorne, was a sick captain who died in 1108 of yellow fever in Dutch Suriname. He had been a member of the East India Marine Society. After his death, his widow moved with young Nathaniel and 2 daughters to live with relative name, the Mings in Salem, where they lived for 10 years. Young Hawthorne was hit on the leg while playing bat-and-ball on November 10, 1113, and he became lame and bedridden for a year. Told several physicians could find nothing wrong with him. His Hawthorne's first published work, Partial, a tale based on his experience at Bowdoin College, appeared anonymously in October 1128, printed at the author's own expense of $100. Although it received generally positive review, it did not sell well. It published several minor pieces in the Salem Gazette. While at the Bowdoin, Hawthorne wagered a bottle of Madeira wine with his friend Jonathan that he will get married before Hal turned it. By 1136, he had won the bet, but he did not remain a bachelor for life. He had public flirtation with Mary Stuart and Elizabeth Pebble. When he began bursting Peabody's sister, the illustrator and present Sally Sophia Peabody, he joined the Transcendentalist Utopian community at the Brook Farm in 1141, not because he agreed with this term, but because it helped him save money to marry Sophia. He paid $1,000 deposit and was 20 years of so when the hill of many referred to the gold mine. To call Arthur married Sophia Peabody on July 9, 1142, at a ceremony in the Peabody Parlor on West Street in Boston. The couple moved to the Old Mills in Concord, Massachusetts, where they lived for 3 years. Um, the Hawthornes had three children. The first was daughter Una, born March 3, 1844, and in October 1855, the Hawthorne moved to Scotland. In 1146, their son June was born. Hawthorne brought his sister Louisa on June 22, 1146. A small George Lodita made his appearance here at 10 minutes to 6 o'clock this morning. Who claimed to be your nephew. Daughter Rose was born in May 1151, and Hawthorne called her his autumnal flower. Hawthorne was mostly a short story writer early in his career after publishing pastoral tales, however, Snow didn't think much of it, and he expected little response from the public. Four of his major months were writing between 1150 and 1160. A scar later, The House of the Seven Goblets, The Bipedal Maze, and The Marble Faun. Another novel remains one saw this anonymously in 1128. The novel is set in a village in Ferdinand Island. The main character is Hester Prynne, a young woman who gives birth to a child out of wedlock. Hester believed herself to be a widow, but her husband Roger Chilmore lives in the island very much alive and hiding his identity. He found his wife forced to wear a red letter A on her gown as punishment for her adultery. After Hester refuses to name her lover, Chilwell becomes obsessed with discovering her identity. When he learns that he man in question is Arthur de Messel, a young case priest who is the leader of those who press him to name the child's father, Chilwell proceeds to torture him, treated with cruel, de Messel becomes more and more sick. Hester herself is revealed as a self-made heroine who never truly repents for committing adultery with the minister. They feel that their act was sanctified by their deep love for one another, although he was initially derided. Over time, his compassion and dignity silenced many of his critics. His standard writing succeeded in the reader and individual struggle to live a righteous life. It is a media that makes a comeback in Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter. The individuals who are dissatisfied with their life because they are restricted from each other due to belief in their certain society. Meanwhile, Hawthorne explored his own perception of life and discovered that he is distracted from living a righteous life because the social norms instilled in everyone elsewhere. Rather than being told outwardly, this writer creates that idea through the use of rhetorical devices in their work. Hawthorne used show more content to show the great division that society can create between an individual and his or her true life. Through life, if all the self-physical thing can be forgiven. Um, Hester Prynne is the book's protagonist and wearer of the red letters that give the book its title. The leather patch of cloth in the shape of an A signified that Hester is an adulterer. As a young woman, Hester married an old scholar, Gilmore, who sent her to America to live and never followed him. While waiting for her, she had an affair with a certain minister named Dimmesdale. Pearl, Hester's legitimate daughter, Pearl is a young girl with a gloomy, mischievous spirit and a knack for understanding things no one else has. For example, she quickly discovered the truth about his father and Dimmesdale. Roger Chillingworth is actually her husband in disguise. She was much older than him and had sent him to America while he finished his business in Europe. Because he was captured by Native Americans, he arrived in Boston too late and find Hester and her illegitimate child displayed on a scaffold. He left for revenge and House decided to stay in Boston despite his wife's betrayal and disgrace. Arthur Dimaso. Dimaso was a young man who studied fame in England as a theologian and then immigrated to America. In a moment of weakness, he and Esther become lovers, even though he will not admit it. Publicly, he was the father of her child. He overcame his guilt by torturing himself physically and psychologically. He secretly developing a heart condition. Governor Bellingham was a wealthy older man who spent much of his time consulting the other town's fathers. Despite his role as a governor of a American society, he closely resembled the traditional British aristocrat. He was having as a widow left with her brother. Governor Bellingham in a mansion is commonly known as the witch who ventured into the forest at night to ride on the maiden black. His appearances are public even remind readers of the hidden hypocrisy in evil of Britain society. Mr. John Wilson, the senior pastor of Boston. Before Wilson was an educated man, but her father, who is the stereotypical Freudian father. The literary version of this title portrait of American patriarch like Governor Bellingham doesn't strictly follow community rules, but could be swayed by domestic eloquence. Like the Maysdale, his junior partner Wilson praises hellfire in the mansion and will get the husband spent for dinners. The main character is Hester Prynne, a young woman who gives birth to a child out of wedlock. Hester believed herself to be a widow but her husband, Virgil Chillingworth, arrived in New England very much alive and hiding his identity. He finds his wife forced to wear a red leather A on her gown, punishment for her adultery. Dorothy refuses to name her lover. Chillingworth becomes obsessed with discovering her identity. When he learns that the man in question is Arthur Dimmesdale, the young chess plays only the leader of those who press him to name the child's father. Chillingworth first to tutor him struggle with gold, Dimmesdale become more and more obsessed. Instead herself in revealed as a self-made heroine who never truly restrained for committing adultery with the minister. He fell in their eye who was sanctified by their deep love for one another. After he was immediately derided, over time, compassion and humility silenced many of his critics. The moral of the scale later is that suppressing leads to cruel and pain. Esther is publicly punished, which causes her pain, but for this she is strengthened and gains independence. On the other hand, the Maysdale, the minister, who fathered his child through sacred prayer, is unable to confess his pain for fear of punishment. Throughout the book, he becomes weaker and weaker. Tormented by his guilt, the contrast between Hester and Deniselle in this respect shows that keeping bad deeds a secret is harmful to a person. So that's all that I can say. If anything share, please leave a feedback. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.